Well, the Rockies have taken the field and will be introducing the Dodgers starting lineup in just a moment. A spoiler alert, there are a couple of guys notable in their absence. And Alana Rizzo downstairs, brought to you by El Pollo Loco, has the story.
All right, Charlie, thanks very much. Despite driving in 3 of the Dodgers' 4 runs last night, both right-hander Yasiel Puig and lefty Cody Bellinger are getting the start off against the southpaw Kyle Freeland. Dave Roberts saying that if you look at Yasiel's track record the last couple of years, he really has not performed well against lefties, and the Dodgers will be facing a few right-handers coming up. For Cody, he said it's twofold. Last year, he was laying off the ball out of the strike zone, and this year, lefties have adjusted to him, and they're not giving him much, guys.
So with them not starting, Dozier, Turner, and Machado will be at the top of the lineup, to be followed by Kemp in the cleanup spot and David Freese starting at first base. Kike Hernandez in center, Chris Taylor in left, Barnes is catching, Buehler is pitching against 25-year-old left-hander Kyle Freeland.
Freeland has been outstanding this year. He has really been the ace of this staff, and this is a huge game for the Rockies.
And the first pitch of the game to Dozier's a call strike. It's 0-1.
Freeland has been their stopper, and he's having to stop this losing streak. They won 5 in a row. Now they lost yesterday to the Dodgers, and they're looking for a good outing from him.
As Dozier bangs one into the glove of DJ LeMahieu. The shift was on, and Dozier's robbed.
Brian Dozier, ball out over the plate, off the corner. Awesome line drive, but even better reaction and play by LeMahieu.
A 2-time Gold Glove Award winner, and Dozier continues to struggle. Although he smacked that line drive, he is now hitless in his last 21 at-bats, as Justin Turner, who is 10 for 17. He's been hot, lifting his average to 306. And the first pitch is a call strike, 0-1. Time now for the Land Rover Performance Spotlight. Turner against Freeland. There you see the 10 for 17. Talk about owning them. As Turner bangs one into left field, well, he's now 11 for 18. So Turner continues his hot hitting. And Machado, who's been hot as well, stepping in. Machado, since coming to the Dodgers, hitting .278, but you combine his numbers and what he did in Baltimore, he's over 300. And 500 in his last 3 games. Kemp on deck. Freeland, the 25-year-old left-hander, born and raised in Denver. He was a Rockies fan growing up. And when he made his opening day debut last year here in Denver, it was on the front page of the news section, and as it was the morning after. Machado fouls it off. It's 0-1. Freeland, his .296 ERA is the 3rd lowest among left-handers in the game, behind only Chris Sale and Blake Snell, and he is doing it here at Coors Field. Just outside, 1-1. Coming into this year, the lowest earned run average for a starter at Coors Field. Jorge De La Rosa, .276 back in 2013. Freeland this year's a half a run better than that. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, there you have it. De La Rosa, Ubaldo Jimenez, and Denny Stark 16 years ago. So remarkable numbers for the 25-year-old left-hander, 13 and 7. There's 1 and 2. So Machado bounces into the double play. Walker Buehler getting ready for his 19th start when we come back. the National League. He has scored 100 runs. As you take a look at their lineup, notable by his absence, Nolan Arenado. Not in the lineup, bad shoulder. And when he will be back, they're not entirely sure. They hope tomorrow. Arenado really struggled last night, hitless in 4 at-bats. Then you got LeMahieu and Gonzalez. Story's been red hot. Dahl, Desmond, Ryan McMahon, who is taking over at third base. Southern California product. Iannetta behind the plate. Freeland pitching and batting ninth, and Buehler delivers a strike. It's 0-1.
Walker Buehler has been on a roll. Those are the overall statistics, but if you look at the last 6 starts or so, he's been absolutely amazing. On that graphic, we said the last 7 starts, an ERA around 1.5. Improvement in the curveball location. It's now getting to a point where the league is chasing it, and the fastball command absolutely amazing at the bottom of the strike zone and at the top of the strike zone.
Rockies play, or the Dodgers play the shift for the Rockies leadoff hitter. And a check swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Blackman. Only Machado on the left side of the infield. Just foul. It's David Freese starting at first base tonight. As Alana mentioned, Bellinger at least not starting. Freese came over from the Pirates a couple of weeks back. We'll see Cody before the night is done, more than likely. Taylor, Hernandez, and Kemp in the outfield. And Austin Barnes catching Walker Buehler. 105 innings, 115 strikeouts. Now the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Blackman having for him an off year at only 279. To the left side, and the second hop. Machado throws low, and Freese picks it out.
It's all smiles for you at short after your first baseman rescues your throw. David Freese, early in the Dodger uniform, hasn't been there very much, but he has made some nice plays over there at first. Shift was on. Machado, the only one on the left side of the infield, had plenty of time. Shows off the rocket arm. This one a little low, but Freese captures it easily.
Freese's 3rd start at first base as LeMahieu takes a strike. LeMahieu at 273. 1 hit from 1,000. Inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. So when the year began, there were questions about innings and how far Buehler would or could go into the season. Here he is, pitching one of the biggest games of the year.
He had the same circumstance against Arizona, where first place was on the line. He got a no decision, pitched very well. The Dodgers ended up winning the game 3-2.
And getting better and better as the year has worn on. 2-1. 2-2. Dodgers and Rockies wrap it up tomorrow. Then Robert's crew heads on to Cincinnati for 3 and 4 big games in St. Louis. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and next Sunday. 3-2.
Walker thought he had one right there, maybe just a tad outside at 98 miles an hour. It sounded outside.
Laz Diaz calling balls and strikes tonight. Chopper slowly hit. And still be a base hit. Dozier and Machado goes through them. If you're looking for the definition of a seeing eye single, have a look.
They haven't played a lot together, and maybe in the future this will be better communication, but Dozier thinking he had a shot at it, and maybe distracted Manny a little bit and definitely slowed his footwork down in getting through that ball.
That brings up Cargo. It might not have been the hardest hit of his career, but it was the 1,000th of DJ LeMahieu's career. Cargo coming up at 283, 15 home runs and 59 runs batted in. Taking high. Gonzalez is 3 for 7 against Walker Buehler. Trevor Story on deck. 1-1.
A lot of the Rocky statistics that are on the positive side against Walker Buehler were built on that tough outing he had last September. He has been very good against the Rockies since then.
Gonzalez, 15 home runs. Hit 14 last year. So we're just underway. Dodgers a half a game behind, as Barnes keeps it in front of him. Austin Barnes getting the start tonight. Buehler's 19th. A perfect 79 degrees at game time. Two balls, two strikes. The Sun Field here in Denver is right field, and it can be a problem. At the moment, it's not as bad as it can be. So that'll be an issue for another half hour, 40 minutes. LeMahieu has stolen 6 out of 10 this year. Tony Diaz, the first base coach, the first base umpire, Nick Marley. And David Freese, Dodger first baseman tonight. Cargo is gone. First strikeout of the game for Buehler.
I highlighted this when we introduced Walker Buehler, how he has been getting the league to chase more of his curveballs, started landing it for a strike more, and so with that, the league then has to start swinging the bat, and he can stretch the zone.
Now here's Trevor Story. You can start putting him into the conversation for most valuable player, despite what he did last night. 9th leading hitter at 298. 4th in the league with 31 home runs. 4th in the league with 95 RBIs. 2nd in the league with 39 doubles. And leads the league with 301 total bases. Up the middle. Dozier behind the bag. Flip to second base just in time. And that will end the inning. Hold the phone. The Rockies are thinking about a replay. Las Diaz looking into the dugout. Well, what do you think?
It's close.
Freeze on deck and Kike Hernandez to follow. Kemp at 284, 19 home runs and 74 runs batted in. He's had a great career at Coors Field as he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Kyle Freeland, the big lefty, delivering inside. It's 1-1. Let's look at Freeland and that leg kick of his, and what is that all about?
Looks like a balance point for him, a checkpoint to make sure that everything's lined up before he goes. Clayton Kershaw does the same thing, but he does it at the bottom of his first leg kick and then has a secondary leg kick. Freeland does it at the top. Looks like it gives him a little rhythm, a little trigger.
2-2.
I'm sure this was a point in his career where he said, I need to be more balanced, and worked really hard on that transition and found that maybe this was a drill, and all of a sudden just put it into the delivery.
Outside corner, and Kemp doesn't like it. Last night the Dodgers had their issues with home plate umpire Andy Fletcher, and tonight Las Diaz behind the plate.
Sometimes you see that outside corner expand when the ball originates on the plate and then leaks its way off. That one was never on the plate and never made it back to it.
Dave Roberts has seen this drill before. David Freeze coming up as he takes inside 1 ball and no strikes. Freeze has had some success against Freeland. He's 3 for 8 with the Dodgers, and he fouled it off his foot. Kike Hernandez on deck. The Brewers a 3-0 lead at home against the Giants in the top half of the 5th. That has wild card implications for the Dodgers. The 1-1 is a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Meanwhile, in Arizona, the Braves with a 2-0 lead. Now 2-2 to David Freeze with Kike Hernandez on deck. Three and 2. Dodger lineup tonight. No left-handers. No left-handed hitters. In deference to Kyle Freeland.
Dodgers did a nice job last night on the offensive side of taking their walks and passing the baton. They had 9 walks and a hit batter. Freeland has a tendency to walk people, have deep counts and walk people. He walk over 3 batters every 9 innings.
To the right side, LeMahieu, a tough hop makes it look easy. That's why he's won a Gold Glove.
Caught Dozier's line drive, lead off the game for the Dodgers, and then that was a very nice play around the seam of the grass. I don't think it hit the seam, but it sure took a wicked kick at the end, and he used his arm as a nice hinge to cradle that ball into the glove.
2 out and nobody on. Kike Hernandez takes a strike. It's 0-1. Talk about a utility player. And tonight he's in center field. One ball and 1 strike to Kike Hernandez. 1-2. Hernandez in his last 18 games is hitting .347. So he has gotten hot as the season has gotten longer. Taylor on deck. Freeland thought he had a strike.
Same pitch that Matt Kemp got rung up on. Almost the same exact pitch.
Way high. The Dodgers this year have struggled against left-handed pitching, hitting just .231 as a group, .250 against righties. And we talked about Freeland and the occasional walk.
His walk total is 6th in the National League, so that is his 62nd walk on the year.
In 171 innings.
And you got to be out there a long time to get that many walks. He has pitched very well around his walks.
He struck out 146, and now he has walked 62, and Taylor has struck out more than anybody in the National League. Starting in left field tonight, and he drills one into left field for a base hit. So the Dodgers a bit of a two-out rally with Austin Barnes coming up.
Nice swing and huge confidence booster for Chris Taylor. Very nice for Dave Roberts, who got peppered with a lot of questions about the lineup and Chris Taylor being in there.
Austin Barnes coming up. Barnes at 204, a couple of home runs. He's knocked in 11. Two on and two out. The ball's in a strike.
You know what's really odd about the stat you mentioned, Charlie, about the Dodgers not hitting for a very high average against lefties, but their record is 10 games over 500 against left-handers.
And they have won 5 of their last 6 against left-handed starters. Them's the numbers, now we play. 1-1. Dodgers against left-handed starters in the last 6 are averaging 6 runs a game. Nothing but right-handed hitters tonight. That one is well hit to left center field, but there is Charlie Blackmon to track it down. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left, no score. We go to the bottom of the second. Southern California BMW Centers. Hurry in today to the BMW Summer on Sales event for exceptional offers. Details at SoCalBMW.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try something different, like Jack's Teriyaki Bowls. Only at Jack in the Box for a limited time.
Sure looks like Colorado does it. Go to the bottom of the second inning with David Dahl, Ian Desmond, and Ryan McMahon against Walker Buehler, who retired the Rockies. Gave up a hit in the first inning, struck out a batter. This is 21st pitch of the game. A swing and a miss to David Dahl, and it's 0-1. Dahl 263 on the year, but spent an awful lot of time at AAA as well. Buehler quickly ahead, 0-2. They've always liked Dahl's skills. Problem is keeping him healthy. He's had all sorts of injuries, up to 2 and including a ruptured spleen. Diving after a fly ball. 2-2. So Dahl starting in left tonight, where Matt Holliday started last night. Desmond on deck, Ryan McMahon to follow. There is Ian Desmond. He has struggled offensively this year. What, if anything, 25 pitches into the game, stands out about what you've seen from Buehler?
Pressure doesn't get to him. He actually loves it, I think. He has really started to understand his own personal rhythm. This is a young man who only has just over 200 professional innings, 100 or so in the minors, 100 or so in the big leagues. And he is a fast learner. Not afraid to make adjustments either, and listen to the older, wiser pitching coach and some of the older and wiser guys on the pitching staff with elite talent and a very strong ego, but very pliable.
The 2-2. That's an easy play for David Freese. Now Desmond coming up. At 229. He's a career 267 hitter. Second year with the Rockies. Came up with the Nationals in 2009. 2016 in Texas, and this is second year with Colorado. 97 upstairs. I want to rethink his position on that pitch.
There may be an outing in the next year or so where Walker Buehler throws his hardest fastball and the opposing lineup does not hit a ball harder than his fastball. He's going to induce a lot of soft contact and swings and misses.
Machado showing off that great arm. Ryan McMahon is coming up. The reason he is coming up is Nolan Arenado is not able to play. Alana.
Charlie, Bled Black was telling reporters earlier today that he wanted to give Nolan Arenado a day off because he's still being bothered by that shoulder that he actually injured the last time the Dodgers were here in early August. Nolan Arenado is adamant that it is not affecting his hitting, although his production certainly is down. He wants reporters to stop asking him if it's affecting him at the plate. He says that it is not. Bud Black, though, noticing that his production is down, says that it's not a bad idea to give him tonight off, although Nolan did not like the decision, understands that his productivity is hurting the team at the moment. He should certainly be back in there tomorrow, guys.
Arenado in his last 10 games, 5 for his last 39.
as McMahon fouls it off. And so a product of the shift, an awkward throw by Arenado. It appeared to be a routine double play ball off the bat of Yasmani Grandal. It's about a month ago. It was an awkward throw. He would come out 2 innings later, and McMahon, who took over for him, would hit the game-winning home run that night. And now it's 1-2 to Ryan McMahon. But he's the heart and soul of this team.
I think Bud Black is hoping to squeak out a victory without him in there, and then that might settle his mind on all the pressing he's been doing to try and carry the team. And I think Bud maybe thinks a little bit of what's going through with Nolan is not only the injury, give him a day off, but also the strain he's putting on himself to come through for the team.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Dozier with the dive and the throw. McMahon robbed of a base hit. Great play by Dozier. And we have no score after 2. First place on the line tonight. Buehler leading it off. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Buehler at 182. It's a good athlete. A couple of hits in his last start. It's 0-2. Meanwhile, in Arizona, keep an eye on that one. Braves 2-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Buehler with Dozier on deck and Turner to follow. Outside. So Freeland, whose mom works in an elementary school here in Denver, strikes out Buehler. First out of the 3rd.
MLB At Bat is your #1 Dodger app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Dodgers home screen icons and features such as MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
Now here's Dozier. And it's no balls and a strike. Dozier robbed of a base hit by LeMahieu in his first at-bat. Brian, it's been a patch of rough road lately. hitless in his last 21 at-bats. When he arrived with the Dodgers, boy, he came out with both barrels ablazing. A couple of home runs. He has cooled off considerably since. In 30 games since those 2 home runs, he's hit the buck 65. But he's got some power. And the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Kyle Freeland, this is his 29th start. And an interesting note from noted researcher and his battery mate, Chris Iannetta. Dozier's troubles continue. Iannetta points out that of the last 5 National League Cy Young Award winners, in fact, the last 15 National League Cy Young Award winners pitching at Coors had a collective ERA of 4.18. Freeland, barely half that. In the hardest park to pitch in, he has excelled. And a strike, 0-1.
Grew up coming to Rocky games. Maybe that experience taught him how to pitch here maybe, and not to be scared of it. He saw what it did to opposing pitchers and decided not to let that happen to him.
Turner not scared of Freeland in the least. So Freeland's 2.27 ERA at home this year. The last 15 Cy Young Award winners pitching at Coors, 4.19. He's another one, at least in the potential discussion for the Cy Young. As Turner fouls it to the right. Machado is on deck. One ball, 2 strikes. Freeland strikes out the side. Iannetta's throw to first to complete it. Nothing across. Iannetta, Freeland, and Blackman to hit for the Rockies when we come back. veteran Iannetta. First pitch, deep to right, on its way and gone, a home run. Chris Iannetta on the first pitch of the third inning hits his 10th home run. And the Rockies take a 1-0 lead.
Carl's cam of him picking on this first pitch fastball hit a double off the right field wall last night, and this one goes a little bit farther. Walker Buehler supplying some of the power, and Iannetta with the good swing.
So Iannetta has given the Rockies the 1-0 lead, and Freeland 4 for 54. Of his 54 at-bats, he's been struck out 31 times. Blackman on deck. And it's a ball and a strike to Kyle Freeland. That was the 11th home run Buehler has served up this year in 108 innings. And that is the second strikeout of the game, and the first out of the bottom of the third. Charlie Blackman bounced to short in his first at-bat. Blackman, a career .305 hitter, so he's about 30 points south of his lifetime average. There's a strike, 0-2. So Blackman having an off year, and he still leads the league in 100 runs scored. Third strikeout for Buehler, second out of the third.
The home run did not scare him out of the strike zone. Another sign of his maturity and understanding of the game. Just gets right back in there and attacks. Of course, the first batter he faced after the home run was the pitcher, but then the evaluation comes here at the top of the order and put away Blackman.
Here's LeMahieu, who's singled into center field. A little bleeder between short and second, but good for his 1,000th career hit. Ball and a strike. LeMahieu came over from the Cubs in one of those afterthought kind of trades. Just foul. That was back in 2011. For Ian Stewart, who had been performing to expectations here, so they sent Stewart to Chicago. McMahon was struggling in Chicago, and they thought, well, maybe a change of venue might do him some good. Became an entirely different player here. He's now a career .302 hitter. Hit .348 2 years ago, .310 last year. That was one of those decidedly one-sided moves. Buehler down a run. And the count is 2-2.
Walker using his fastball down and away, which then sets up the ability to use the fastball up which he is very good at putting hitters away with.
3 strikeouts to this point. And now a full count. This is going to be Buehler's 15th pitch of the inning with Cargo on deck. First walk of the night given up by Buehler. Coming into the game, Buehler had struck out 115 and walked only 28. Tonight he has struck out 3, walked 1. Gonzalez, a strikeout victim in his first at bat. Well hit to center field. Way back and at the wall. It is Kike Hernandez tracking it down to end the inning. Over 400 and something feet, and Gonzalez has nothing to show for it.
At Dodger Stadium, plus Kershaw welcomes the team into his Dallas home for their annual fantasy football draft. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, Friday after the postgame on Sportsnet LA.
Kershaw's Dodgers down a run as we go to the top of the 4th with Manny Machado leading it off. It'll be Machado, Matt Kemp, and David Freese. Machado bounced into a 1-6-3 double play in the first inning. Low and outside, 1 ball, no strikes to Manny Machado. 303 overall, 278 with the Dodgers. Here's a strike, and it's 1-1. Two balls and a strike to Manny Machado.
This whole Dodger roster has changed throughout the year. The whole infield was not on the active roster to start the season. Dozier, Machado, Freese, and Turner was hurt.
Right at LeMahieu. First out of the 4th.
And Charlie, the guy who's coming up to the plate, wasn't expected to be on the team.
He was a dicey proposition at spring. Nobody was committing to Kemp. Kemp wasn't sure where he was going to be. He had to sing for his supper, and he performed an aria and went to the All-Star game. 284, 19 home runs, 74 runs batted in.
takes a strike. It's 0-1. It's been a reckoning year for Kemp. He felt, and we talked about it in spring, he didn't feel like he had to prove anything to anybody except to himself, that he could still do it. And he's done it. One ball and 2 strikes. And at Coors Field, has he ever done it? In his career, 329, 21 home runs, 77 RBIs. Two balls and 2 strikes. So as we watch Freeland, what do you see? What's his bill of goods?
The fastball command has been outstanding. He doesn't look scared. I know he walks a few people, but that could be on the road a little bit more than home, because when you come into the game with a 2.96 ERA, but your home ERA is lower than your road ERA, you might have some command issues on the road a little bit, but here in Coors Field, he is not afraid of the bat.
That's the never-ending question. How you go about doing business at Coors Field, how many runs are enough, how much room you give yourself. An incredible disparity, because it's so difficult to pitch here, yet he's made it look easy.
This year he has morphed his cutter into a slider, pretty much abandoned the cutter. And then he's also added a curveball to give him a little bit more change of speeds. And he's been very aggressive with fastballs in, kind of getting towards the handle of the bat.
To third base, Ryan McMahon filling in for Nolan Arenado. Meanwhile, in Phoenix tonight, Clay Buchholz has driven in a run. The Braves and the Rockies are tied at 2 in the top of the 3rd.
One night when the Diamondbacks are rooting for the Dodgers.
How about that?
It would tighten the race up even more.
Colorado leading the Dodgers by a half. Arizona a game behind the Dodgers, and up the middle a base hit for David Freese with 2 out and nobody on in the 4th. All right, you said something there about morphing a cutter into a slider. What is the difference, and what does a hitter see or not see in a cutter versus a slider?
A cutter is a little bit more subtle, and maybe his was a little too early, so it wasn't breaking enough for a cutter that gets exposed, so he expands the break on that and turns it into a slider. And it's really just a little less ball in your hand. The cutter is more like a fastball grip, just slightly off center, and the slider is a little bit more on the side of the ball.
Hernandez, who walked in his first at-bat.
The really good cutters look like they're fastballs and then break at the end with just a slight tilt in the axis, where the slider, the spin is so sideways that you actually get a red dot on it that the hitter can see and recognize it as a slider.
1 ball, 1 strike.
I think what it did, though, it also gave him another level of changing speeds, because the slider's a little bit slower than the cutter.
One ball, 2 strikes to Kike Hernandez. 19 home runs. He's knocked in 46. Hitting .355 in his last 11 games. Walked by Iannetta. We wrap up the series tomorrow. Rich Hill and Tyler Anderson. Battle of left-handers. Hill in search of his 8th win of the year. Then it's on to Cincinnati for 3 and St. Louis for 4. And Hernandez is down on strikes. 5th strikeout
for Kyle Freeland. Colorado 1-0. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Well, you come to Coors Field half expecting to see home run derby. Last night, the Dodgers with 2 in the 5th beat the Rockies 4-2, and tonight, into the bottom of the fourth we go in Colorado with a 1-0 lead. Sold out house at Coors Field. Trevor Story beginning the bottom of the fourth. Bounced to second base in his first at bat. With Arenado sidelined with a bad shoulder. The offensive burdens now squarely on the shoulders of Trevor Story. 2-0.
He made an outstanding play in that 5th inning yesterday. The infield slightly in, decided to come home. Got the play at the plate after a balk.
That 5th inning was bizarre in so many ways. Turner will throw him out and freeze with the play.
David Freese again with the soft hand. If they ever add a egg tossing contest to the Kershaw Challenge or the ping pong tournament, I think he would be a very good partner. Got some soft hands over there at first and can pick anything.
Soft hands with a hard-boiled egg. David Dahl. 1 ball, no strikes.
That's cheating, Charlie.
Not unless you get caught. Desmond on deck. Drilled into right field for a base hit for David Dahl, who's on his way to second, and the throw not in time. Dahl was thinking about it all the way. His 9th 2-base hit of the year.
He did not assume that, oh, I'll just stop. It's at right field, right at Kemp. He kept his head down, kept it at full speed all the way around first, and decided to push the envelope. He's got to decide right about now, because it'll either be stop and be turned because Kemp could throw it behind you. He continues on and makes it.
Jeff Nelson, the second base umpire, wanted to make sure that Dahl did not overslide the bag. Now Ian Desmond takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Desmond bounced to short in his first at-bat. Third hit for the Rockies. The Dodgers have 3. And Desmond a little late to the dance. No balls and 2 strikes to Ian Desmond with Ryan McMahon on deck. One ball and 2 strikes. Three strikeouts and a walk. Buehler has surrendered. Only run of the game, an Iannetta home run in the 3rd. To right field for a base hit. Ball rounding 3rd. He's on his way home. The throw cut off by Freeze. Throw to second base out there. But the Rockies score a run on the RBI single for Desmond. 2-0 Colorado.
Desmond started off this year absolutely terrible. Had an ERA or a batting average around 150 at the end of April. He is hit at about a career clip now as he's turned his year around. The average overall really low, but he started to swing the bat better in the last few months.
And that was a perfect example of why you want outfielders to hit the cutoff man. And here's Ryan McMahon. Robbed of a base hit by Brian Dozier back in the 2nd inning. Rocks 2-0. For Desmond, it was his 78th RBI. And a strike. To the left and out of play. Ryan McMahon, 2nd round pick in 2013. Born in Yorba Linda. And went to Modern Day. Easy hop for Dozier, 2nd out. 3rd out. That'll do it. Barnes and Walker Buehler. A home run by Iannetta in the 3rd. And a Desmond RBI single to right, plating David Dahl in the 4th. So the Dodgers have some work to do. Taylor single to left in his first at-bat. Chris with 14 home runs. He's knocked in 54. And Freeland has brought his A game with him tonight. 5 strikeouts and a walk. He has scattered 3 hits. And now it's 0-2.
2-0 does not feel like a very big deficit here at Coors Field, but against a guy who has an ERA at home just over 2, it feels a little bit bigger. Dodger lineup needing to grind it out against Freeland.
No balls and 2 strikes. It's high and away, 1-2. Freeland's gotten ahead of the hitters. 14 of 16 first pitch strikes to center field. Blackman going back, way back, and it is gone. A home run for Chris Taylor. His 15th of the year. Dodgers are within 1. It is 2-1.
Not what you call grinding it out, but powering it over the center field wall in the 415 sign. Chris Taylor locked in as we take a look at the Arco top tier play. Picking on a fastball down and out over the plate. He elevates it. That ball was hit very well.
Well, Taylor 2 for 2. 15 home runs, now 55 runs batted in. And he has enjoyed his time against the Rockies. No balls and 2 strikes to Austin Barnes. Taylor starting in left field tonight. It's 1-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. There's strike 3, and that is strikeout number 6.
The Dodgers begin their final 3-game at home, hosting the Padres on Friday, September 21st. Take your place on the field after the game to enjoy the final season-long display of Friday night fireworks, set to music celebrating Hispanic heritage, courtesy of Denny's. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Buehler struck out in his first at-bat. One ball, 1 strike. Dozier on deck. The 198th home run of the year for the Dodgers. And their 135th solo.
They lead the NL in both those categories.
Dodgers are 3rd in the league in runs scored, and the Rockies are 4th. That's going to slice into the stand. So naturally, a pitcher's duel last night. Who got one here tonight?
You win championships a lot of times with pitching and defense, and even here in Coors Field, it looks like it's holding true.
The Rockies unaccustomed to being in first place this late into a season. 3-2. But Bud Black has guided the Rockies. And Buehler to shortstop. Story, what a play.
The range is impressive, but then the baseball clock, knowing you got a pitcher running. So he just takes his time. Once it's in his glove, this pirouette is not at full bore, and the throw definitely just making sure it's accurate. Very stylistic play at shortstop.
The Rockies, third-ranked defense in the National League. They've made only 64 errors all year. The Dodgers have made 86. And Story really having a breakout year as Dozier steps in. In the first inning, he smashed a line drive, but right into the glove of DJ LeMahieu. Gold Glove winner. And a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Brian Dozier. Hitless in his last 22 at-bats. 2 balls and a strike. Dozier had 16 home runs this year with the Twins. And he takes low. 3-1. Easy hop for McMahon. And a strike to Desmond. Chris Taylor gets the Dodgers on the board with a long distance shot, his 15th of the year. After 4.5, Rockies 2, Dodgers 1. Chris Iannetta to lead it off in the 5th. Back in the 3rd, he hit a home run. Over the out-of-town scoreboard in right, and he bangs a base hit into the left field corner to begin the bottom half of the 5th inning. Iannetta, a single in the 9th last night, a home run in the 3rd tonight, and a leadoff double here in the 5th.
Home run was on a first pitch fastball. He picks on a high breaking ball here, thinking like a catcher, hitting like a third baseman. He is raking right now. Making up for Arenado's absence.
Kyle Freeland coming up. He's got 2 sacrifice bunts on the year. 0-1. Blackman on deck and LeMahieu to follow. Playing it like there are 21 games left in the season. The Butcher boy and held back. 1-1.
0.74 batting average, but Black must trust the way he handles the bat. Dodgers with the wheel play on, so the left side of the infield was moving all over the place.
There's a strike, and it's 1-2. The Rockies have had some issues this year with runners in scoring position, at least lately, and Freeland was out. Last night, 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. And although Desmond knocked one in the 4th inning, the Rockies have had 2 or fewer hits with runners in scoring position in 22 of their last 24 games here at Coors. It is with that knowledge, Blackman steps in and he's 0 for 2. "23 home runs, he's knocked in 57. And at a short lead, catcher's speed. 1 ball, no strikes. This is the 15th game of the season between these two teams. The Dodgers have won 8, the Rockies have won 6. And after tomorrow, they still have 3 more meetings, and that's back in Los Angeles. 2 balls, no strikes to Blackman. LeMahieu on deck. Crank to right. That is big trouble. That is a very big fly. 2-run shot for Blackman, his 24th. Colorado 4-1.
Batting average and slug go up when you get into hitters' counts. A 2-0 fastball, and Charlie Blackman does not miss it. This sellout crowd here in Colorado enjoyed it. Walker Buehler and the Dodgers did not.
And the Dodgers are now down 3. Second home run of the night given up by Buehler as LeMahieu steps in. Blackman's 24th. He's knocked in 59. One ball, 1 strike to DJ LeMahieu, who has singled and walked tonight. The single in the first inning, a little bleeder, and with the bag at second between Machado and Dozier, would turn out to be a milestone hit for LeMahieu. 1,000th of his career. Cargo on deck. And that is the second out of the inning. Cargo is 0 for 2. Inside. Gonzalez, all time for the Rockies. Second in games played and at-bats, third in hits, runs, and extra base hits, fourth in home runs and multi-hit games, and fifth in RBIs. Cargo. Now it's 1-2.
Like Matt Kemp with the Dodgers, they weren't sure Cargo would be on this team. He almost worked his way out of a job and didn't really find any other opportunities elsewhere.
He was such a late sign, he's not even in the media guard.
One place that was happy when he signed was the locker room. Very popular in the locker room.
Career .288 hitter. Came up with the A's, was traded to the Rockies for Matt Holliday. That was then, this is now. We go to the 6th, and the Rockies are leading it 4-1. Solo home run for Ionetta, 2-run shot for Charlie Blackmon. Rockies lead by 3, and Turner takes a strike. It's 0-1. Turner 1 for 2 tonight. Is 11 for 19 in his career against Kyle Freeland. Into the glove of Story, first out of the 6th.
Fans, become part of the Dodger family in 2019. Purchase season tickets, enjoy exclusive experiences, guarantee your seats for promotional nights and exciting matchups including the Cubs and the Yankees. Receive 2018 postseason rights with the purchase of your 2019 season tickets. Visit Dodgers.com/season tickets.
Manny Machado 0 for 2 tonight. Bounced into a double play in the first inning, bounced to second base in the 4th. High and away. Middle of the fifth in Arizona, the Braves and Diamondbacks remain tied at 2. One and one to Machado. After tonight, the Dodgers have 20 games left. 14 on the road, 6 at home. Diamondbacks after tonight will have 20 left. 10 and 10. But Arizona's got a really tough schedule coming up after they're finished with the Braves tomorrow. Diamondbacks and Rockies will go head-to-head for 4 games while the Dodgers are in Cincinnati. And the first of 4 in St. Louis. Three balls, 2 strikes.
This is coming down to the wire.
Oh, this is good stuff.
If you're a nail biter, you're going to need your fingers and your toes.
Manny Petty on the house. Machado, the second walk given up by Freeland tonight. The combined winning percentage of the opponents for the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, and Rockies. Dodgers actually have the easiest schedule. .489 winning percentage of their remaining opponents. The Rockies' opponents, .516. Arizona's got the toughest lot, winning percentage of .541. Here's what's left for the Dodgers. And that big 4-game series in St. Louis, and the real X factor in that game, or that series, is the Sunday night game, in which the Dodgers are expected, after playing Sunday night, to arrive maybe 2, 3 o'clock in the morning LA time. And next Monday, the first of a 3-game series with the Rockies back at Dodger Stadium. So it's not just the teams that these fellas are playing, they're fighting the schedule as well. Arizona's got tougher opponents, and the Dodgers have that Sunday night game thrown into the mix. 1 ball, no strikes to Matt Kemp.
Everyday players this time of year will tell you you're playing on adrenaline. Yes, you're tired. A lot more concentration and getting your rest, just like those fans.
One ball, 2 strikes. Now Freeland about ready to throw his 96th pitch. Showing no sign of fatigue.
Chris Inetta, before Kemp finished his at bat, went out to the mound and had a conference with Freeland, and it looked like a manager to the pitcher, not catcher to pitcher. He had his hands on his hips, and at the end of that strikeout, pointed out emphatically, like, way to go. Almost like way to listen.
Well, the Rockies now get some bullpen activity up. Freeze 1 for 2, takes a strike, it's 0-1. Scott Oberg. Going 2 to Freeze. The Rockies have 12 relief pitchers in their bullpen. Dodgers have 10. Of course, they're without Kenley Jansen this weekend in Denver. Rockies 4-1. 2 out, top 6.
One ball, two strikes. Kike Hernandez is on deck.
Freeland's 29th start. He's been over 100 pitches 12 times. High on the season is 113.
And this is 100. Good for his 8th strikeout of the night. No runs, no hits, a walk and a man left after 5.5. Freeland and the Rockies on top.
Third inning, Chris Iannetta planted in the right field bleachers to put the Rockies on top. And then Charlie Blackmon in the 5th on a 2-0 fastball. Got him a few more. This 2-run homer. We are at a place where the Dodgers are down 4-1 because of those big flies.
Blackmon's 24th home run of the year, Iannetta's 10th. And Story stepping in. He's got 31. But 0 for 2 tonight. Takes a strike, 0-1. Story 1 for 4 and was struck out 3 times last night. David Dahl on deck, Ian Desmond to follow. One and one. Dodger bullpen's beginning to loosen up. Don't think anybody's throwing yet. But Oberg continues to warm in the Rocky bullpen. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
When you have a bullpen by committee, there's not those specific roles. Everybody has to get up and stretch and start moving around because you don't know whose name is going to be called.
Dodgers, 10 relievers. Ready to go when needed. The 1-2. Story is down on strikes. Both clubs have very crowded clubhouses, Alana.
Charlie, it's not just the bullpen guys that have to always be ready. It applies to the position players as well. I was talking to Brian Dozier earlier today, who obviously gets the start today, but has come off the bench for the Los Angeles Dodgers, about just that. When there's 35 guys on a roster, always being ready given the situation and given the time of year. He said, you know, it's funny because if a lefty starts, you might assume that you're going to be there. If a righty starts, you have to possibly wait to come off the bench. He goes, when the bullpen starts to warm up for the opposition, all of the right-handers start to line up at the top of the steps of the dugout with a bat in hand, basically saying, pick me, I'm ready to go in. A lot of competition for not a lot of ABs and not a lot of spots, guys.
And then inside the clubhouse, there's very little elbow room. And if you're looking for a baseball nightmare, a road game at Wrigley Field after the 1st of September. Ancient Wrigley Field has the smallest visitors clubhouse. it's about the size of your den. Then all of a sudden you have 35 or 40 guys. There ain't no room for everybody. And there have been days where young players have gotten dressed at the hotel and ridden over on the bus.
The tunnel from the locker room down to the field is like a one-way street. You've got to pull off to the side if somebody's coming the other direction.
Parallel park. The 2-2 to Dahl. He went around. And that is the 7th strikeout for Walker Buehler.
3 in a row. And he has done well battling through this outing. The big flies have gotten him, and he'll be disappointed if it ends with this score total. But he's shown a lot of maturity in a big game by continuing to pitch after disappointment.
7 strikeouts and a walk. Desmond, an RBI single to right in his last at-bat. Oh and 1. McMahon on deck. Arenado sitting it out tonight. Bad shoulder as Desmond fouls it off to the right. And it's 0-2. And it's driving him crazy. He wanted to play tonight. But Bud Black, seeing that he's been struggling, not only at the plate, but with his throws. Yeah, we saw a throwing error last night. Black made that decision. That's Mike Redmond next to him, his bench coach. Machado will show off that arm. And a 1-2-3 inning for Walker Buehler as we head to the 7th. Rockies 4-1.
And a spotlight on Kyle Freeland and how outstanding he was tonight with 8 strikeouts, a couple of walks, a home run from Chris Taylor, but he has really pitched well here at home, and he continued to do that tonight.
And the Dodgers are thrilled that Freeland is finished. Which brings us to Scott Oberg, who's in, who's out. Brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. Oberg, the hard-thrown right-hander. He's had a solid year. This is his 46th appearance. Undefeated, an ERA of 2.5, and opponents are hitting .226 against him. And pinch hitting is Alex Verdugo, who fouls it off to the left. 0-1. He's batting for Kike Hernandez. Hernandez in 2 at-bats against Freeland walked and struck out tonight.
Verdugo very much like Buehler, not intimidated by the enormity of his challenges.
They both have very good heartbeats and do not seem overwhelmed by the big league experience and the pressure of this race.
Leading it off in the 7th with Taylor on deck. Taylor a home run and posing for a selfie. But Verdugo is down on strikes. Taylor with his 15th home run of the year in his last at-bat, Alana.
It's actually a historic one, Charlie, because with that home run by Chris Taylor in the 5th inning, it gives the Dodgers 7 players with at least 15 home runs and 15 doubles in a season. That is the most in Dodger history. The previous record was 6 players, 1949, and the 2017 club. So you have Taylor, Muncy, Bellinger, Grandal, Kemp, Peterson, and Puig.
And you put them all together, and the Dodgers have hit 198 home runs on the year. But with that big buildup, Bellinger's going to pinch hit. Now you talk about a buzzkill. Bellinger takes high, 1 ball, no strikes. Now that the righty is in Oberg and the lefty starter Freeland is out, Dave Roberts is moving from right-handed batters to left-handed batters.
Cody Bellinger up there at the plate. The spray chart changes, and so does the defense. You can see how pull conscious he is, but he has gotten better at using the left side of the diamond.
Two balls and a strike.
The key on that spray chart was the 27% up the middle. I think when Cody stays in the middle of the field, happens to be slightly out front, pulls it, he can pull it for power, but he stays up the middle and is a little late. He's getting some hits on the left side of the diamond.
Trying to go the other way. 2-2. Another left-handed hitter, Max Muncy, on deck to pinch hit. Again, this is the luxury that Dave Roberts has with the big bench. And the 2-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And Cody's 2-strike approach now, it doesn't seem like he changes the swing completely, but it does seem like he changes his backside. He tries to keep that hip a little higher so the backside doesn't collapse, not trying to lift the ball as much, hit the ball more on a line.
Coming into play tonight, left-handed pinch hitters included Verdugo, Bellinger, Muncy, who's on deck. Still on the bench, Utley, Peterson, and Tolles. And then on the right side, Kyle Farmer, Rocky Gale, Puig, and LeCastro. And the switch hitter, Yasmani Grandal. 3-2. Bellinger takes a walk. So here's Muncy. Batting for Barnes.
Sorry, Charlie, 3 hitters in this inning. None of them in the starting lineup, but all left-handed coming off the bench.
So we'll see Grandal in the bottom half of the 7th inning with Muncy batting for Austin Barnes. There's a strike. So Roberts spending 3 of his 6 left-handed hitters here in the 7th inning. One ball, one strike. Dave and Bob Guerin trying to blaze a trail to the ninth. 1-2 to Muncy. Well, Jock Peterson is next on the dance card, and he'll be hitting for Walker Buehler. So 4 of the 6 lefties here in the 7th inning. Pat Venditti. But you coming and going. The switch pitcher. Two and two. Bellinger leads from first, and Muncy swats it into the Rocky dugout. Muncy went the other way against Oberg about 3 weeks back. Did he check his swing? Diaz made the call, didn't even ask for help, and that's what really irritated Muncy.
It's so close, you would hope that the umpire would ask for help. Might ended up the same call, but it was close enough that you'd like to have another opinion.
That is Mad Max. And this is Jock Peterson. First pitch. Long run for Iannetta, and he can't quite reach it. And neither can McMahon, who is playing on the shift. So Iannetta is the only one with a real chance. So 4 left-handed pinch hitters used here in the 7th inning tonight. Two strikeouts and a walk. So now it's up to Jock. One ball, one strike. Peterson is 3 for 7 against Oberg. Now 2-1. Peterson, 19 home runs. He's going to go into the stands. Braves and D-backs 2-2, middle of the 6th in Phoenix. Two and two to Jock Peterson. Time call. Laz Diaz, home plate umpire in his 19th big league season. The old Marine from Miami. You go around. Jock holds his temper and his bat, and he's not real happy. Did he go around? You make the call. 7th inning stretch.
Rich Hill is going to be on the hill for the Dodgers. He has been outstanding with the strikeouts and very few walks. And Tyler Anderson with a 6-7 record and a 4.8 ERA will be on the mound for the Rockies. Battle of two left-handers.
Rich Hill in his 21st start. Anderson his 29th. That's tomorrow. But we have miles to go before we sleep tonight with the switch pitcher, Pat Venditti. With the unique glove, he just flips it around depending on whether it's a left-handed hitter or a right-handed hitter. Pitching from the left side against the left-handed hitting Ryan McMahon, who is facing a shift on the right side of the infield. And Venditti delivered a strike. It's 0-1. Yasmani Grandal behind the plate now, as Barnes was pinch hit for by Muncy in the top half of the 7th. Comebacker, and that's Turner. And that's the first out of the 7th. Now with Iannetta coming up, Venditti will switch the glove around. And pitch on the right side. Verdugo takes over in left field. Iannetta has homered and doubled, and he swings and misses. It's 0-1. A single, a home run, and a double in his last 3 at-bats. Singled high off the wall in right last night. So Muncy takes over at first. You have Grandal behind the plate, Verdugo in left, and Bellinger in center. What's interesting about Venditti, he's a mirror image of himself. Throws from the side, whether it's right-handed or left-handed, same mechanic, same everything. And a unique glove. We'll just flip that thing right around. You see the, I guess, the seventh finger. To center field. There's Bellinger. You may be aware that Oral Hershiser had a 59 consecutive scoreless inning streak. You were aware of that? Okay. Now, be one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance on Fan Appreciation Day, Sunday, September 23rd, the Dodgers and the Padres, and receive an Oral Hershiser bobblehead commemorating one of the most impressive streaks in the history of our game, courtesy of your SoCal Honda dealers. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Raimel Tapia to pinch hit. As Venditti delivers and Tapia fouls it off. It's 0-1. It'll be the top of the order for the Dodgers in the top of the 8th. Venditti 2/3 of the way through the bottom of the 7th. Leaving Denver 2-3 weeks ago when the Dodgers were here last and we going through security. Pat and his wife and a year-old son. Son's resting on his shoulder and he's kind of giving me those little pity-pat high fives. So I asked Pat, is he left-handed or right-handed? And he said, we are hoping he is a left-handed power pitcher. Got about 18 years to worry about it.
Which hand was he high-fiving you with?
Both.
Both.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Boy, Venditti's a fella who has paid his dues. And the 2-2. His 10th appearance with the Dodgers. And this is about the highest leverage situation he has faced. Into left. Verdugo. And Venditti gets the job done and will go to the 8th. But Colorado's leading it 4-1.
You want to
or more runs. Not only are they occupied and preoccupied with the Diamondbacks and playing the Rockies tonight, the Cardinals were beaten by the Tigers 4-2 in Detroit, and in the wild card race, Dodgers just a half a game behind St. Louis, and that sets up the huge Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday matchup at Busch Stadium. Adam Ottavino, his 67th appearance. Beside the impressive numbers that you see, an ERA of under 2 and opponents hitting barely 150. He is one of those guys who quietly goes under the radar. We'll explain as Utley is pinch hitting for Dozier. And Chase has had quite a roll coming off the bench. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Ottavino was on the disabled list until about the 15th of June. And at that time, the Rockies were 33-35. And their bullpen was just going through a horrible stretch. Since coming off the DL, the Rockies are 44-28. So he has been a very valuable piece as a wobbly Rocky bullpen through the middle of the season has stabilized. 1-1 to Utley, with Turner and Machado to follow in the 8th. Man's going to run out of room.
Ottavino in the top 5 in a lot of National League reliever categories, if it's ERA or strikeouts, strikeout percentage. You are so right, Charlie. He really organized the bullpen for the Rockies and got it turned around. A lot of great resumes and big signings down there, but they were not performing until he all of a sudden got in the mix.
Getting to the 9th was an issue, and Davis for a time was blowing save after save. The Rockies have won 13 of their last 20. And so what else is new? Utley's hit by a pitch.
Chase Utley is still quick until the ball is headed at him. Then he's just pretty good at staying still.
It's like he is posing right there. Congratulations to Chase Utley. That was the 204th time he's been hit by a pitch, more than any other active player. I'm not sure anybody's in a great hurry to be second best. Turner 1 for 3. Takes outside and low, 1 ball, no strikes. If Turner gets on, Machado would be the tying run at the plate. Zach Roskup is warming up in the Dodger bullpen. 2 balls, no strikes. The Rockies have had 31 blown leads that have turned into their 63 losses. Two and 1.
Pretty gutsy pitch. Throw a 2-0 breaking ball up by 3. You don't want any more free passes after the hit batter of Chase Utley. You don't want to walk Turner, but stuck with a pitch that he thought he could get him out with.
Ottavino, originally drafted by the Cardinals. There goes the runner. And Utley surprises everybody in the house.
Chase getting him out of the double play situation. Noticing that Ottavino is not really paying much attention to him.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Turner fouls it off. Ottavino is out of Brooklyn, and a big fella, 6'5", nearly 250. Machado on deck, Kemp to follow, 2-2 to Justin Turner. First out of the 8th.
Sharp breaking ball that he got Justin to nibble at. Looked like he was going to be able to foul it off, but no, broke under the bat. Got him out front.
That's 1 out. Machado 0 for 2 and a walk coming up. Manny's been clutch. Utley at second. The Dodgers trail by 3 with 1 out in the 8th. 1 ball, no strikes. Kemp is next. Utley still great speed at second base. Mayhew trying to keep him as close as possible. 2 balls, no strikes to Manny Machado.
Manny hits the breaking ball for power. And in the 2-0 count to Justin Turner, Ottavino went with a breaking ball, using the on-deck circle, and watched the hole at bat. See what he goes with here.
The 2-0 to Manny Machado. 2-1. Picks up and off, and Machado came out of the chute.
Same pitch selection in the 2-0 count to another right-handed power hitter.
Two balls and 1 strike to Manny Machado. Utley pinch hitting and getting hit by a pitch to begin the 8th, leading off second base. Into short right. Cargo. 2 gone. And now Matt Kemp coming up. Kemp has struck out twice and bounced to third. Mets are routing the Phillies tonight, 10-4 in the 9th inning. The Phillies 2.5 behind the Dodgers in the wild card race. There's a strike, 0-1. Puig on deck to pinch hit. If Kemp can continue the inning. Ross Cup with the Rockies having Blackman, LeMahieu, and Gonzalez hitting in the bottom of the 8th. Blackman, left-handed hitter, LeMahieu right-handed, Gonzalez a lefty. Ottavino's 16th pitch.
The shorter, tighter breaking ball right there. He's used the curveball and the slider, changing speeds, but pretty much to all these big righties, he's wanted to throw breaking balls. Got Machado to fly out on a high fastball away after slowing him down with the breaking stuff.
No balls, 2 strikes. Story at short. No runs, no hits. 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Dodgers trail by 3. For Access Sportsnet Dodgers, brought to you by your Southern California Ford dealers.
Thank you, guys. Walker Buehler came out firing, but the 2 home runs from Chris Iannetta and Charlie Blackmon, the difference maker.
And Freeland was very good tonight. Not many opportunities for the Dodgers.
Yeah, he's figured out how to pitch in the Rockies. We will see you after the game.
Zach Roskup now on in relief. Trying to keep the Dodgers within 3, facing Charlie Blackmon, who hit himself a 2-run home run, his 24th of the year. And a strike, and it's 0-1.
StatCast AI powered by AWS. We're taking a look at Blackmon's 2-run homer. He crushed this for 442 feet. It was a high arcing fly ball at 32 degrees, majestic.
Good for his 24th. You caught a glimpse of Chase Utley, who's taken over at second base for the Dodgers. They got Blackmon, LeMahieu, and Gonzalez facing Roskup in the bottom half of the 8th inning. First out of the 8th.
Dodger bullpen has been outstanding so far in this series. Roskup trying to keep him right there, give him a chance in the 9th.
Well, last night, Ferguson, Floro, Stripling, Alexander Maeda. 3 shutout innings. No balls and a strike. And tonight, Venditti and now Roskup. Buehler went 6, 4 runs and 6 hits. Gonzalez on deck. Venditti was perfect in the 7th, 12 pitches, of which 9 were strikes. Josh Fields getting ready if need be. You got Cargo, a left-handed hitter, on deck. Then Trevor Story, right-handed hitter. Then David Dahl, left-handed hitter. Let's see how far Roskup goes. Left-handed hitters are hitting 200 against Roskup. Righties 294. Wade Davis is now going to work in the Colorado bullpen. Now remember, if the Rockies win, the Dodgers fall a game and a half back. If the Dodgers are able to mount a comeback against Davis, Dodgers will hopscotch into first place. Two balls and 2 strikes. So this is not just another game in May. Base hit for LeMahieu. He's 2 for 3 tonight.
Dug this one out. Boy, that's down around the ankles. And almost hit the dirt. Couldn't reach Grandal's glove in the air. Just a good piece of hitting.
Gonzalez has been quiet tonight. Struck out twice and flied to center. LeMahieu's stolen 6 bases this year. He's been caught 4 times. As Gonzalez swings and misses, it's 0-1. 7th inning stretch in Arizona. Braves and Diamondbacks remain tied at 2. Cardinals have lost. The Phillies have lost. And Milwaukee has beaten the Giants 4-3. The Brewers improved their record to 81-62. There goes the runner, and a fly ball to center field. Bellinger going back. He's got some room. LeMahieu has to scamper back to first. There's 2 out. And Dave Roberts going to make the move here. Trevor Story coming up. And Josh Fields will be coming out of the bullpen. Dave gets the ball, has Ross Cutler on the back. And we're going to take a break. In the bottom of the 8th, Rockies 4 and the Dodgers 1. When healthy, a 2.36 ERA and opponents hitting barely 200 against him.
Missed 54 games and was thrown right back into the fire because when he was healthy, he was one of the Dodgers' best relievers. So Dave Roberts has a lot of trust in him. And he's going to try and hold him right there. Keep him down by 3.
They sold out the joint tonight, 47,867. Buehler, 6 innings, 4 runs and 6 base hits. Freeland went 6, 1 run and 4 hits. Story's a good hitter either way. 0 for 3 tonight. LeMahieu is at first with 2 out. Looking ahead to the Dodger 9th. Toss over. LeMahieu is back. Muncy, Verdugo, and Bellinger due to hit. Wade Davis continues to warm in the Rocky bullpen. And Story with a fly to right. Kemp makes the play and ends the inning. Last licks for the Dodgers, trailing by 3, heading to the 9th. He has 36 saves. Bad news is he's blown 6. But he's held opponents to a 190 average. And really, he was struggling up until 3 weeks or a month ago. And now he has finally settled in. He signed that big free agent contract. And felt like he was wearing that contract for a time.
Adjustment to a new park, a new team. Paycheck doesn't always guarantee production, but he has seemed to have found it. And if the resumes in the Rocky bullpen perform in these last 20 or so games the way they have in the past, it's going to be a tough road to hoe for the National League West. It almost feels like that their bullpen is the key to this division.
And Puig will lead it off, pinch hitting. Last night, a home run. He singled in a run as well. Davis. A late swing. No balls and a strike. One ball, one strike to Yasiel Puig. The 38 saves for Davis, a career high. One and two to Puig. Davis began his career as a starter. Made 75 starts. One of 13 pitchers all time with at least 75 starts and 100 saves. Two and two. Two balls, two strikes to Puig, leading off the ninth.
Yasiel Puig, when leading off an inning, has one of the highest on-base percentages in baseball. He'll give you a battle.
It's 2-2. Now 3-2. From July 24th through August the 9th, Davis went 1-4, had 4 saves in 6 opportunities and an ERA of 15.25. So just in case, Ryan Shaw is warming up. To right, Gonzalez going back to the wall and makes the catch. Now the Dodgers down to their final 2 outs.
Just off the end of the bat a little bit. Didn't get the full barrel on it.
Verdugo, who pinch hit in the 7th inning, struck out. Takes just low and outside. One ball, one strike to Alex Verdugo. They're going to the 8th in Arizona. The Braves and Diamondbacks are tied at 2. One ball and 2 strikes.
They got a big piece of this Iannetta. Les Diaz was going to help him out. Chris kind of shoves him a little bit like, I don't need time. We're trying to get a victory here. I'm not going to upset the timing of my closer.
Now it's 2-2. Wade Davis came up with the Rays in 2009, then to the Royals, Cubs last year, and a big deal through 2020 with the Rockies. And the Dodgers are now down to their final out. Dodgers in danger of falling a game and a half behind Colorado with 20 to play. Bellinger pinch hit in the 7th inning and walked. Not an empty seat tonight inside Coors Field. Nearly 48,000. It's up to Bellinger. Now it's 1-1. Muncy on deck. Hoping to get a shot at it. Into left center field. And that's going to be at least a double for Bellinger. And he's going to go to third. For Cody Bellinger, a 2-out triple. And the Dodgers still have a heartbeat.
It's a beautiful piece of hitting, a line drive to the opposite field. That will serve him well for the rest of the year and gives the Dodgers still a chance right here. Triples alley. Big gaps here in Coors Field.
7th triple for Bellinger. Muncy needs to get on to give Grandal a shot, or the game's over. 1 ball, no strikes. There's Grandal. Muncy pinch hit in the 7th and struck out. Two balls and no strikes.
38 saves, 6 blown saves, and some of those demons might be visiting him right now.
It's only human nature. Three and 0.
Relievers need short memories, but these fans, this sellout crowd has a long memory.
They never forget. 3 and 1. Three balls, 1 strike, 2 out in the 9th. Three and 2.
Max 3-0 did the obvious take posture, and then 3-1 did hitterish take posture. Neither one worked. Now he's going to have to get on himself or make sure this is a ball.
Full count, 2 out. Bellinger leads from 3rd. Base hit. Bellinger scores. Muncy is on his way to second base. 4-2. A 2-out triple for Bellinger, followed by the 2-out double by Muncy.
Well, the chant in the dugout at the beginning of this inning when you face a closer down by 3 is, come on guys, let's find a way to get the tying run to the plate. Well, the 2-out triple from Bellinger and the 2-out double from Muncy has done just that.
Back in June, Yasmani Grandal faced Wade Davis and did this to him. The Dodgers hoping it's going to happen again. Grandal is the tying run. Pitch in the dirt. No sense in Muncy risking anything. It's 4-2. Bellinger the triple, Muncy at second base with the double. Grandal 22 home runs, 19 of the 22 as a left-handed hitter. There's a strike. 1-1. Hoping for the opportunity, Caleb Ferguson is warming up in the Dodger bullpen as the veteran Iannetta tries to calm the nerves of Wade Davis. Grandal the tying run. Utley is on deck. LeMahieu playing really in short right. Grandal swings and misses. 1-2.
There were no nerves on that breaking ball from Wade Davis. That ball had great finish and location. He snapped that off.
One ball, two strikes. Davis to Grandal. It's 2-2. Grandal is 2 for his last 19. Muncy leads from second. Davis' 26th pitch. In the dirt.
That one was spiked and overthrown. That was not like the other breaking ball he threw earlier in the count. That was trying to be his best, and he ended up with one of his worst.
Davis keeps reaching for the brass ring and can't quite reach it. Grandal on 3-2. Cole, strike 3, and the game is over. Grandal caught looking. Davis with the save, and the Rockies hang on to win.
Slider that's trying to catch the back door. Yasmani Grandal says no way, but Laz Diaz has the last say. That is the last out for the Dodgers. 20 games left for the Dodgers, and it feels like it's going to be as tight as this series has been so far.
And as they leave Coors Field tonight, they trail by a game and a half. And the player of the game, Chris Iannetta. Hit a home run in the third, doubled in the fifth, and scored 2. So the Rockies improved their record to 78-63. The Dodgers fall to 77-65. That's a wrap for us. For Alana Rizzo and Oral Hershiser, Charlie Saunders saying good night and goodbye from Coors Field in Denver, where the Rockies win it tonight 4-2, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.